Okay. Is this a top laner?
Yes.
Is it a range champ?
Yes.
Is it a AD champ?
No.
AP, sorry, AP. Does it have mana?
Yes.
Is it a guy?
Yes. I think.
Is it Yordle?
Yeah.
Is it Teemo?
No.
Gnar?
No.
Kennen?
You asked if it had mana.
Oh shit. A Yordle with mana?
We played against that, maybe?
Poppy?
Oh, never mind.
Range champ?
Yeah.
Oh man. Someone help me out. Okay.
He's smart, he's smart.
This is not a stop line.
He's an okay.
I'll give you a hint. It has a really long name. And it's a weird
really
one.
long name. Any help?
Smart.
Dude,
He's smart. He's
Heimerdinger.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome back, y'all, to Game 3 between Dignitas and NRG. And I feel like if you saw that bumper from Palafox, he kind of trolled him saying it was top lane because the last time we saw Heimerdinger in competitive play was like support.
That's true. I still think of it as a top laner, though. Maybe I'm into denial. Now I'm curious what the solo queue pick rates are.
True.
If it's actually played top most, because that's still where I see it the most in solo queue, but definitely in competitive. We have not just seen that champion really at all. There was like one player from the LJL, I want to say, who played it mid a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And
Saros back in the day.
And then it's been played support, obviously, a bit over the years, but definitely a hard one to guess. We are going on to game number 3. It's 1-1 after 2 absolute slams, one way, then the other. And now we got to find out what Dig is going to go for. They're back to banning Azir on blue side. And if you remember game number 1, that's when they first picked Senna. So the question is, does NRG ban Senna on red, or are they willing to let that go through? And if they do ban it, are you then giving up something like the Orianna or whatever?
Yeah, Renekton Open as well, currently, that is now banned by Dignitas. So they want to set up that Senna first pick again, and I think it is smartly banned by NRG. Something I want to track throughout the rest of the series, though, was that sneaky Seraphine ban that we saw in Game 2, which I think was probably a potential counter pick to Senna. So if, let's say, they carry this game with Lillia, which has now gone through the draft, and we get into this situation again, I could see that matchup coming into play around Game 4 or 5.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the priorities does lie. Ashe, obviously, still up and available, quite high prio. I'm just really interested to see, like, I'm kind of fixated on the mages because Jensen, has really not been performing on these ADs, so I really do wonder, if NRG should have higher prio on things like the Ori with these here banned out, take away some of this comfort from Jensen, force him onto an AD pick, and kind of take him out of that comfort zone, because he did look good in Game 1 and Game 2. He was solid, he was fine. The game wasn't really about him. Palafox, though, has been having back-to-back strong performances. He was kind of that lone shining light in game number 1 and had another good game in game number 2. So seeing him performing again, I think, really is nice for NRG, but they are going to go more the standard way. They grab the Ashe, which is super high prio across the world, and they obviously have a lot of engage already with those first 2 picks.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you who I'm also happy about seeing perform really well is Big Dokes. I don't feel like we've seen an awesome game like that from Dhokla in quite some time, but one of the things that was crucial for NRG's late success towards the end of summer playoffs was Dhokla finally being able to usurp and beat out all the other stronger top laners during that summer 2023 split. And a lot of the faith in that Rumble pick was finally rewarded. Obviously, it is banned this game as they don't want to give it over to Licorice, but we're going to see, now that K'Sante is blinded, what kind of counter pick they can give and cook up for Dhokla.
Yeah, do they want to actually answer mid, or do they want to answer top? Vi, Taliyah, really nice combo. So is going to be the lock-in here. This is one of those hard engage combos. Vi goes in with the ulti, you flick them back, you can really punish people. It's great against champions with dashes as well, with both Corki and K'Sante have. So pretty solid answer here already. And Corki obviously on the other side, they kind of needed that AD pairing they felt alongside the Lillia. So it is Jensen back on marksman, and we'll see how he's going to perform. I
will say Corki's the most traditional marksman, though, so it's something that he would have been playing competitively for probably a decade at this point. Corki Azir is a phrase for a reason. It's because that was locked in the meta for several years.
He was always the Azir in that phrase, though.
He's been the Corki enough. I'm gonna find his Corki stats. He's played a lot of Corki.
He's definitely played a lot more Corki than the other marksmen, but I still do feel it is more outside of his comfort zone compared to some of these other champions. Like, historically, Orianna, Azir, Syndra, LeBlanc, Cassio, Victor, Ryze, Taliyah,
10th.
Twisted Fate, and then Corki.
10th or 11th most played, and not a good win rate, 45%.
Exactly. Like, that's,
So-
you know, compare how many Azir
Could be
games does he
better.
have?
Oh, 75?
Yeah, exactly. So more than triple, right? This is kind of what I'm saying. Is
103 Orianna.
He's always been more on the other side of that. It's not that he never plays them. And over the last couple of years, he has been kind of forced to try to pick them up. He has been kind of trying to adapt to that as we've been seeing more and more marksman mid. But has definitely, you know, made his paychecks on those mages. That is what he was always so successful for. And a lot of these guys on Dig have had legendary careers, and they're fighting to say that the careers, you know, are still going strong, that it's not all the successes of the past that we're riding off of, that we can still perform here today. But it is a tough end of the split if Dignitas were to go out today. They definitely want to keep fighting, want to stay on in playoffs.
So return to the Poppy. It could potentially go to Huhi in support since it is flex. We have seen it in both top lane and support this split on other teams. Now Dignitas, what is their answer and what is their support pickup since both Leona and Nautilus are taken off the table?
I think pretty much for sure we're going to see the Poppy top, just because you have Ashe in your last picking here. I do think that they are going to look for a ranged counter pick or some sort of 2v2 counter pick, whatever he feels is best in this matchup. Ashe is a really strong early laner. You know, you talked about it yourself. We were talking in between games about the priority bot and how important that has been, especially in game number 2. So I think that's what they're going for here. The Poppy is just going to be one of those rejection picks, and then they will look towards whatever they feel is strong in lane.
I could see them just locking it in if they wanted to, but that's
Alistar is kind of the classic because it's so easy to deny the Rell engage. Rell Ws you just knock away, or you can even Q them and try to turn around the fight onto them. So that is a pretty standard answer. It makes it so that generally Rell has to start engages with flash, otherwise you're always going to be able to respond to that. So you have to look for the Q flash to start things out. Otherwise, you just always get interrupted. It is very, very difficult because it means that you're always on the back foot, whereas the Alistar can actually start out fights, can actually start out these engages.
It's a really good synergy with Taliyah as well. A lot of times with Taliyah comps, you're just trying to have as much CC as possible to line up the flicks on any of the 3 squishy members on Dignitas. So I understand why he did it, but I also do know when their bot lane smashes, they win a lot of their games. So I was really liking that Seraphine hover. Maybe we'll see that later on in the series.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Of course, if you go Seraphine, you could, you know, maybe dominate that lane, but then you have a quite squishy comp here, which does make you, you know, worried about potential Rell combos into the engages there from the MF. But it's going to be an interesting one because there is a lot of onus, I think, on Palafox being moving around the map, on being this person who's working well with the team. He's had a great series so far. He's on the Taliyah. If he can get pushed, he can move to those side lanes. There's great combos to pull off with the Alistar, as you touched on. Obviously, the Vi is really that main combo that he's looking for. But even towards the Poppy, you can ult up towards top lane behind the enemy top laner. Poppy can stun you into the wall. There's a lot of nice combos that he can work around with really everyone on the map.
And I think this is the new role that Palafox will be serving in this game. The first 2 games, win or loss, he was just farming it out and just trying to become a reliable carry that scaled later and later into the game. As you already called out, this time, we're going to see if Palafox can sync up with Contractz and Huhi early on into the game, which is what brought a lot of that success that NRG had the last time they were at the top of the table.
And there's going to be some early scouting going on here, just because we did see a lane swap in game 1. We probably thought we were going to see a lane swap in game 2. At least that's what NRG thought. So definitely some defensive lines here to see spots.
And with that, we do have Emily on the sideline with Mabury, so we're going to toss to them for the interview.
Hello, I'm here with Coach Mabury as he watches his team's level 1. It's always fun to get coaches back here as you guys are watching. In terms of game 1, really, really great. Game 2, pretty tough loss. How did you regroup going into this game?
We didn't worry too much about the game 2. The game kind of just spiraled out of control from the early game. I think Rumble made a good play on bot side, and when they saw Spica on the top side ward, they had an easy dive, and after that, the game was hard to play. So we kind of just regrouped and went to blue side and talked about what we wanted to do for the next game.
And it looks like, I'm not necessarily going to call it, but it looks like we're at least scouting for a potential lane swap. One of the things that did impress me in game one was that you guys did seem a lot more comfortable in swapping, even when NRG initiated it. That was something that you really struggled with against 100 Thieves. So talk to me in terms of your prep for this week with lane swaps specifically.
Yeah, that was one of the big things we focused on too, like each person's individual role in the lane swap, and just kind of like looking at some of the pieces of lane swap that we were missing the previous week, and I think we improved a lot on that.
What did you think you were missing the most?
I don't want to spoil too much, but just like all I will say is like individual roles and what each person should be doing. Take like in the early game, yeah.
All right. Well, all the best. Thank you so much for taking the time, and we will get back to the game.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily. And as you were saying, Azael, during the interview, this is just like game one all over again.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent. Dhokla actually being really annoying here. And he has Spica low enough that Spica might not actually be able to stick around. He has to heal up, you know, with the dots from those Raptors. Would have loved to be able to get that camp, but Dhokla does deny it. So he will be pushed back towards that top side. And yeah, very reminiscent. You know, Dhokla against this level 1, you know, he was coming in game number 1, gets the charging, gets a chunk on Jensen, and put him behind.
And it looks like Licorice actually does have to abandon ship, though, because Dhokla was able to get presence.
Does he see the TP? He's going to come back.
I mean,
that ward actually
Licorice
made
is gonna
such a
come back.
difference. Oh, my God.
Dhokla greeting this TP a little bit. I think the ability to deny the Cassante would have been bigger. He gets experience himself.
There was a
Licorice
flash from
should
Licorice.
probably live this.
Did he fail the combo, or what happened there? We didn't actually get to see the start of that. I'm not sure if it was like a Q flash into a W after. I would love to be able to rewatch that. You know, it's hard to blame that one on Dhokla because they obviously didn't have eyes on where that ward was. So he TPs, he gets spotted. At the same time, he's getting the XP on the other side. The question is, can they dive him and make it game 1?
Yeah, Dhokla, we know he has the slam, but he also took the steadfast press to try to block any
One back.
dashes, but at least it's a trade back from Contractz as he takes a knockout punch to Spica's face.
Spica did not get out of range of the tower.
Palafox mid
Like,
lane? Jensen! Ooh.
yeah, it looked like Spica should have been able to get out of range of the tower. I'm not sure if he got bumped back by the Contractz Q and couldn't flash in time, or if he actually stepped back and thought he was out of range of the tower already, but reacquired tower aggro there and does end up going down in a trade. So this one not nearly as bad as that game 1 situation for NRG where everything went right for Dig and the wheels kind of fell off very quick.
That flick almost catching Jensen just on the tail end of that Valkyrie, but he survives. He is in trouble though, and Spica is around, so if he needs his help catching this wave, but Huhi is also around to see if he can try and punish this.
Yeah, Huhi has no flash though, so it would be difficult. Maybe there's an angle to try to hex flash behind him and just W him in, but likely you will die if you do that, so it would be a pretty high risk. So Huhi just trying to see if they'll overextend. Like, Files comes in to help him try to push us out.
Damn. Goodness. Jensen really does not want to recall on this amount of gold.
He wants to get this wave reset. He wants to get more gold in. Isles is around. Spica is around. But this is really dicey stuff. I mean, there's an angle where Palafox could even look for a flash play himself. Like, if you flash E on him if he overextends at all, and then try to hit that combo, there's not going to be much of a chance to Valkyrie.
Replay on the bottom left corner there. It was a Q flash from the Alistar. Then Licorice flashed over the wall as the headbutt was channeling. That's the Hex flash to try and threaten Jensen off the wave.
Yep, and not really going to be able to do it. So all the sustain, built into these marks, and this is something that kind of is being targeted and has been targeted over the last little while. But obviously he is playing Fleet, you absorb life, you have all these different runes that are helping you to kind of sustain in a situation where normally you would expect them to have to base.
And a common thread with all 3 games now is how active one of the supports, if not both supports from both teams, have been active in the first few minutes of the game. Obviously, we saw that once Isles got unlocked by the first turret push, he was able to just consistently help the top side of the map. Game 2, Huhi pays that favor back over to Dhokla, and now both supports, all eyes are in this mid lane, because if Palafox is unlocked, then he gets to be a roaming monster for the mid game.
And he will be level 6, completely clean, get his first buy, teleport back, and potentially impact these side lanes. Looks like Spica also making a play top lane, though, on the roam with that stacking wave.
And I will say, this is similar to game 1 where Licorice is free farming again, and Dhokla is getting denied a lot.
Yeah.
Huhi is here to cover because they know if he gets re-dove with no TP, then he's super out of the game. But Ashe cannot solo push Licorice off of that wave, so he's not getting much gold up here on the top side, while Licorice is getting paid on the bot side.
Yeah, I'd agree. This is in slight favor of Dignitas, but it is definitely closer.
It's way closer
than the first 2 games. Need to hold off here because Contractz is going to try and take at least one of these.
Spica smites the second grub. Contractz should have the smite for the third grub, so it's just a 2-1 split. And Spica returns to the jungle.
So remember the stat that I called up about how strange this series was? If we are to, so it's a very specific stat here.
Yeah.
Add the goal difference in game 1 at 14 to the goal difference at 2 at 14. In every series since goal difference at 14 was tracked since 2020, this is the third largest total number, 10,000 total goal difference. However, it's the largest number when the goal difference has been on different teams. So the game 1 and 2 were crazy different.
Meanwhile, Isles was forced to flash on that top turret dive. Huhi was trying to look for the pick, but quick hands, and Isles escapes with his life.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I think a lot of people sometimes, you know, especially if you're a newer fan to League, you may be asking, well, why do people keep believing in Dignitas? And it's reasons like this. This is just him in the LCS as going to force out that cleanse from Zven. He had a ton of success in EU, then comes over. He was the first player to actually win a title in both NA and EU.
Yeah.
And he's perennially at the top, right? And this is even a role swap in there where he went to support, is still winning titles, has been such a successful player for so long, both across, you know, multiple regions. Same with Jensen, you know, same with Licorice having a lot of success as well, and Spica had his moments too. So it's one of these things where people have seen these guys be good for so many years that you almost can't believe that they could just not do well all of a sudden.
Right.
I completely agree. And with Zven in particular, it's almost like, especially because he was able to do that in 2 different roles, there's this innate sense of knowing how to actually win games and be that voice in the room when things aren't going the way they need to go. And it really does come down to this series. It's who can win 2 of the next 3 games, and that's largely going to be dictated by literally who wins this game.
And I think there's so much pressure on these kind of series because when you are finishing, you know, towards the bottom, whoever loses this would finish 6th place overall in the LCS.
Yeah.
We have 2 teams that are going to be coming in that are new next split. You are fighting for your career, right? You are fighting for a spot on a team. If you do not have a showing, if you go out on a really bad note, that can sour the taste of GMs or coaches or whoever who are making these roster decisions. And especially for really storied players, you don't want that to be happening, but here comes energy.
And Palafox has Weaver's Wall at the ready. Huhi goes in for the engage first. Spica is knocked up, and the Weaver's Wall bounces them back. Well played by Dhokla to slam him into the wall. Spica tries to get the Lilting Lullaby off, but it's not enough, as now Huhi with the Flash Pulverize will set up the next kill on Isles.
And that's Palafox making the move. They slowly walked up towards the river as Dig was a little bit late with their recall. Licorice will get numerous plates on the bot side, but those are the types of plays that Palafox was making when he was at his peak.
Yeah, I mean, Palafox back-to-back-to-back games now, really able to perform well for the squad. Gets the play up towards topside. And I've got to say, Huhi has been having an incredible series as well. I think he has been everywhere. When there is success, he is there. He has been so heavily involved throughout this. And we can watch this one more time on the replay. It's all about the move from the river, finding this angle here for Palafox to try to get that wall in behind them. Zven has a pretty good bullet time to cover, but unfortunately for Isles, his W got interrupted by the ult there from Palafox. He got knocked out of it to the wrong side of the wall, so he didn't have that gap closer to get back over the wall, and they do end up getting taken down.
If you get the...
Yeah, no flash Rell.
Nice.
Lillia.
Yeah, looking Lillia first.
And those margins are so slim too. Spica had flash up, but thought he was going to be able to save it, ends up dying.
Palafox has talked about, you know, how he has really been getting held back by his own mental, right? You know, not being able to feel like he's the same player that he was. He's been so disappointed with the performances that he has been putting up. It's not like the fans are the only ones to see it. It's not like Cash is the only ones to see it. He has to feel it and live it, and he knows that he's capable of so much more. He felt that he could really turn things around. Honestly, I was doubting him when I saw that tweet. I'm like, well, it's been a whole year of not being able to have that level of performance, but so far, looking really, really good in this series against Dig.
No better time to show up when literally your career is on the line, your playoff season is on the line, because here in the lower bracket, there's no more chances after a series loss. And for now, Dignitas, they are staring not quite down a huge deficit, but they're starting to feel the pressure that NRG are slowly winning out on some of these fights. as Huhi tries to lead the engage onto Spica, but he bullies his way back into the dragon thanks to the teleport of Licorice, and that guarantees them the second dragon of the game.
Yep, numbers advantage there for Dignitas, being able to even these Drakes out and keep this game incredibly competitive. That's finally a little bit of Licorice's advantage paying forward there. It's ultimately his teleport that stopped NRG from being able to contest that Drake. Thanks for the leash moment right there.
And I think what we're going to see from NRG, you know, over these next couple minutes is they want to keep pushing lanes, spread out the maps, and look for opportunities to use their vision advantage with the Ashe and find picks with all of this engage they have, with the ability to find things with the Vi, with the Taliyah ultimate. They want to section members out from Dig and find those picks.
And Contractz actually just stole one of the grubs away, and they're being kited back towards the blue side jungle of Dignitas. Doesn't look like Spica is able to get one of them off the back end, so this could be 4 grubs going over to NRG.
That one stings. That's the break point that they wanted there, but NRG arrive at just the right moment. This game really has been about these fractions of a second to give I'd say a very, very small lead to NRG, but most of it is just about the Vi keeping the Lillia down. Spica's in a state where it's really hard for Lillia to play since she is not ahead in camps and can't cycle.
And Jensen's in trouble, but he flashes away from the headbutt pulverized combo, gets out alive, is going to give respect to the flick combo as well coming out for Palafox, but he should be fine collecting the next wave coming in.
Yeah, backs it up. Oh, K'Sante going all out.
Licorice all out on a Dhokla as you called it, but he's going to throw out the question mark frog because there's no more wave for Licorice to play through, as now the all out will time out, and Dhokla should be fine. He's going to slam him into the wall, get some decent damage back. And he might be fine just enough to defend this turret by himself, but now Zven is collapsing in, and they want to get this first turret brick. Dhokla under fire. Zven steps up. A couple more auto attacks. The bullet time plays right in the flash path to guarantee the kill. And this teleport, that's too late.
Oh no, the TP is not able to come through. That turret was so low. I felt like Licorice was just going that aggressive and using the all out really to chunk him down for the tower. He was even proxying the wave, but Dhokla was holding it off the tower to deny him from getting it. So he goes aggressive, he trades it out. Zven comes down to help him pick that up with a perfectly placed bullet time. That was very nice. He had it so if he backed up, he's going to walk into Licorice and die. And if he flashes out, you're flashing into the bullet time and you're dying either way. And then a TP coming in pretty late from Palafox, and insult to injury, it does get canceled.
How poetic is that after Game 1 stomp and Game 2 stomp, Game 3 is now the most competitive game we've got in all series. This is now both teams trying to play at their best.
That's the joy of series play. It's just such a tragic moment there for Dhokla. They need him to be okay in this game.
He's on this ward. Are they going to go for it? Doesn't look like it because no one else is around.
They don't have the angle.
They could set up for a trap. If the rest of Dignitas funnel into that corridor, maybe you can send it with a Huhi combo. Palafox is also getting ready. He has Weaver's Wall, but now Contractz. He's got to be careful. He Vault Breakers right into Spica, but he's all by himself until Huhi comes in with a 2-man knockup. The Weaver's Wall allows Palafox to collapse, and he's going to find Spica on the back half, throwing that threaded volley. Isles is on the run as well, but manages to flash away. The rest of NRG now have to separate away from Licorice and Jensen, who wants to join into the fight. Isles goes back in, sets up a stun onto Huhi. That maybe gets the kill for Dignitas, and they get traded one back. Isles doesn't even die in the exchange.
Really greedy there, but a successful play by Isles to even the kills in this fight.
Arrow?
They're going back more.
Lands on his Zven, but good cleanse and sidesteps the flick from Palafox. NRG are forced back off.
Yeah, Palafox even committed to flash there. Maybe not tracking that cleanse was still up. Zven doesn't even have to flash himself. He just cleanses, struts right out of there. So they get the flash off multiple key members here on the NRG side. In the long run, I do still think this is probably slightly positive for Dig, as now there's no flash on FBI, no flash on Palafox, no flash on Contractz, all used in that fight.
And watching it one more time, it's Spica who does get bursted down very fast at the start of this fight, continuing to have a pretty rough game as Palafox finishes him off. But then it's really just Dignitas surviving the rest of this fight. It looks pretty grim at this point. And like, just really watch Isles on the backside of this fight. Licorice kept him alive, he secures the kill, and Spica falls once again.
Yeah, poor Spica, man. I feel like every time we see a reaction of him, he just looks sad. He's just having a tough split, you know, not having a performance that he has wanted. And we'll see if he can try to turn things around. Still an incredibly close game. They're up 500 gold, in fact. 1 dragon apiece. So it really is going to be about the setups here in these later team fights. There's, I think, more playmaking for sure on the NRG side. but the potential for an explosive team fight is absolutely there from Dignitas, especially as Jensen scales up, you know, as Corki's getting later on in the game.
Yeah.
You have so much poke to set up these potential hard engage that then could come through from Isles with the follow-up from Zven to really blow people up, because there are some squishy members. I mean, FBI and Palafox are going to be scary, but by the same token, if you get caught by a Q flash into a sleep from Spica bullet times over the top, even with cleanse, you might just be going 100-0.
Yeah. It's definitely rough for the Lillia in this early game, but there's always the reassurance that later on, as you accumulate more farm with an even game state, you will be such a huge damage threat against something like the Vi, whose only job is, I'm going in, I'm setting up one target to die, and then that's probably the extent of my job.
And I think a really interesting choice here by Dig. I think they're potentially leaving this Drake to be started. Jensen wants to get this turret gold up top lane, and it allows NRG to start on the Drake. I wonder if he's going to have time to TP in.
Could just be a 4v4 potentially, but Jensen is backing off to look for a TP maybe. He's going to TP now.
Yeah, they want to stop it.
It's matched by Dhokla, who's also teleporting in. Vi sends it. They look for the seismic throw combo onto Spica, but he's still surviving. The Ignite is ticking down, but he will not fall. Palafox is going to try to cut off the fight and separate the backliners from getting in. Palafox gets taken out and blasted by the double marksman composition from Dignitas, and somehow they persevere through the energy onslaught.
Yeah, they hard commit there on to Spica, spend all their spells on the jungler, hoping to burst him down right off the bat, but he survives, and it buys so much space there for Jensen, for Zven to step forward, feeling totally confident to go into that fight. We can watch it one more time. They make the call to go for Spica here. He's off to the side, and they say, we can burst down the jungler and then take the fight, but committing everything to him and not getting the kill was critical. And look at Licorice blocking the follow-up Ashe arrow there was massive with the Pathmaker.
Beautiful bullet time there by Zven as well, arriving at the back of the fight. And then once the original dive doesn't get the kill, Dig completely having the upper hand in this one. Palafox knows that's a very crucial fight to lose.
And with that, we have a huge milestone pass for one of our players in this game. Jensen passing Bjergsen for second all-time in the LCS for career kills.
Oh, Isles.
The testament to his career, as Isles is now in trouble. NRG looks like they just got a free pick as Isles was trying to look for vision control.
So it may have been someone Dignitas dying while we showed that, but at least it wasn't Jensen dying while we showed the lower third. You know, Jensen, say what you want about how his performance this split, definitely not up to his standard, but he's absolutely one of the most legendary LCS mid laners of all time.
Yeah.
Got second, I think rightfully so, behind Bjergsen when we did that voting for the top 10 all time for each position. He has been incredible for so long, even holding the global record for most Worlds appearances in a row. Made Worlds 8 straight times, which is just ridiculous. He made World semifinals. He made MSI finals. This guy is one of the best Western players of all time, and congratulations to him for, I think, a pretty big achievement.
An arrow from downtown, instantly cleansed once again by Zven. He's been doing a good job of making sure that he is not caught out of position. Since second game, it was a lot tougher. He had to play against Tempered Fate and Glacial Prison and Equalizer. But this time around, Zven has been ensuring that he is in a safe position and he's not been compromised so far.
Yeah, he is down both summoners though, so NRG will probably look to target him a little bit more. Most of this game, they've been going heavily at Spica's Lillia, but now with the stasis available to Lillia, he's less of a target. Let's see if Palafox can make this one work.
Contractz and Palafox syncing up, but Licorice with the all-out buffers through the cease and desist.
Yeah, that was really well played there from Licorice. He had the Pathmaker to immune the Q coming through from Contractz, then times his all-out to immune the knockup from the cease and desist. Gets out of that seismic shove, both ultis down. Licorice playing it well. It's going to TP back up towards that top side, but he's full health, and without those tools, there's no shot you can dive him.
And the rest of Dignitas are going to slowly rotate towards the top side of the map to offer even further support and protection to see if they can control and prevent that top tier 1 falling anytime soon. Meanwhile, Jensen still has teleport. He's going to be pushing Dhokla out on the bottom side of the map as Isles takes a big chunk to the face.
And I will say, NRG has remained active. They were extremely active in Game 2 and blowing out Dignitas, and even from a deficit here, looks like they're trying to start a lot of plays. So that's going to be what Dig has to watch out for a little bit, since they've accumulated this gold lead, is just guarding against NRG picks, because they do actually have the upper hand in mid lane with the MF against the Ashe, and they do have a really far behind Poppy that they can get side lane push against for the rest of the game. So NRG actually has to keep creating action to stay in this game.
They absolutely do, and I think the key is, can they get to those right targets? Because it's easy to say, oh, NRG, you're choosing the wrong targets, but at the same time, you have to credit Zven and Jensen for not really exposing themselves.
Yep.
Because those are the guys you really want to catch. You know, you don't necessarily really want to get Spica or Isles or even Licorice up on the top side, who we saw them try to go for earlier. If you can kill off Zven or Jensen to start a fight, you absolutely can win it. But it is very tough if they are far back and you're getting poked and prodded away at because you're going to kind of be forced to press that go button before you want to.
And that small window where Zven did not have both summoner spells is now gone, because Flash is back up. Cleanse will be coming back up in just a few seconds as well. But, you know, there was a moment where NRG probably could have gone for him, and the target priority just did not execute funnily for them on the top side of the map.
And I mean, it's always tough when you're playing a tank and you're pretty far behind. I mean, Dhokla's down now nearly 2,000 gold individually in that matchup against Licorice, but you also have two carries on the other side who are actually quite fed. LDR is already done for Zven. He's going to be working towards his IE. The second item here is done for Jensen as well.
Flash onto Jensen. He still has Flash. He's trying to get to his team. Isles will try to bail him out with the Magnet Storm, but the cease and desist will lock Jensen further down, and the seismic shove is true. Big shutdown goes over to Contractz, but Zven will look to equalize it. Still has the bullet time, is waiting for the right angle, but FBI finds another kill on the Isles. Spica, maybe he can turn around with the lilting lullaby, and the bullet time is only going to get a couple members on the front line, but Licorice is going huge into the backline, demolishes the two backliners, and NRG somehow lost the fight.
Cassante Gaming, Licorice arrives with 2 full items. He might be taking Dhokla out as well for a delayed triple kill underneath the turret. Why the hell not on the Cassante right there? And it looked good at the start for NRG. They're going for that pick onto Jensen, but it's too slow, and Cassante always arrives.
This is giving me flashbacks to the Golden Guardians Malphite turnaround.
Oh my god.
Licorice turning on a massive fight here over by the Dragon. NRG full send it on to Jensen. They had to commit so much to actually taking him down, but they do finally get him. And then Dhokla was actually positioning pretty well to keep Zven from being able to just let that bullet time rip. We're back to live though. Jensen caught again.
No!
And they're punishing him since he doesn't have Flash from the skirmish prior. And now NRG, they have man advantage on the map.
Jensen sets the kill record. He's done with it. He doesn't need it anymore.
His work's done for the day.
Yeah,
he got the
LCS
kill record.
Is too easy. He's fine.
No, now he's going for another record. He's going for the
Oh my goodness.
Remember, lower bracket continues next Friday. We are going to be on Friday once again, as well as the regular Saturday and Sunday. So don't miss out on that. Going to have more lower bracket action. And the matches are just going to get better and better. I'm really excited for the remaining matches in playoffs as we get down to it.
Contractz wants to send it on to Spica. The Blast Cone punts him, unfortunately, back into Huhi, so they get further CC set up. He's going to try to stall it with the Stasis. Good bullet time and Magnetstorm combo gets a decent amount of damage onto Contractz, but Zven is being occupied by Dhokla, who now punts back to safety of his own team, and Zven cannot contribute any further into the fight as Licorice. Can he pull off another miracle? Can he get another Cassante Gaming moment here? But the seismic shove will catch him, throw him back into the arms of Contractz, and they get the beat down on him. Jensen is back from the first pick that we saw just 30 seconds ago, and he's able to trade back onto Huhi, but he's slammed into the wall, and NRG now have a window for Baron.
They could maybe go for it. It's Contractz, Palafox, and Dhokla against a Flash misfortune. I think they just need to take the gold from this last fight. Maybe they can get a kill on Zven if he gets too aggressive, but still, this is NRG's game plan. Just stay aggressive. They're going for picks every time.
I have to give a lot of credit to Dhokla. I actually think he played this fight very, very well. He made Zven's job so hard, so I really want you to try to focus on that in this replay. We're going to be watching Zven over on this side here. You know, he's really strong at this point of the game, but watch out Dhokla charges in, he gets hit by the arrow at the same time, and then Dhokla is just tanking up as long as he possibly can, then kiting back. He's making sure that Zven can never hit any key targets, and even later in the fight when Zven wants to try to threaten to re-enter as Licorice is trying to fight on the side, you'll notice again that Dhokla will come over here, Huhi will come over here. They'll make sure that they're not actually getting this opportunity to re-enter the fight. Dhokla again just kind of trying to threaten, trying to poke and prod, and keep Zven out of that. And that is really the problem here for Dig.
Kill him. 3 on my E, 2.
Nice.
I mean, with no Jensen, you're just so reliant on Zven's damage, right?
Yep.
So Dhokla knew his job, played it well, and as a result, they do come up with that team fight win. They're going to be able to grab this bottom lane tower as well. So NRG closing the gap a little bit here, but it is also Dig on the precipice of grabbing an Infernal Soul.
Dhokla might be picked out here, though.
He's going to stall as much time as he can, but Palafox, now knowing that his top laner is in danger, is going to try to create an objective opportunity on the bottom side of the map, further pushing the turret since the rest of Dignitas was on the top side.
It's crazy how objective bounties are up for NRG, by the way, when we're spawning earlier.
Drakes.
It's the Drakes, yep. And Dignitas just going to be starting up this Baron, trying to force the issue here. Dhokla's dead for 30, and he has no TP when he respawns, and there's no TP on Palafox either, so NRG are just going to have to try to flip this. It's all up to Contractz.
Okay. Licorice this time is able to come around the other side of the Baron pit, forces Contractz out, no chance for a steal.
Of all the things, though, with NRG, that tiny bounty window.
They got double bounty.
They double bountied off mid turret and tier 2 bot. So the actual gold difference off of losing that Baron, not that bad. Bounty's immediately turning off, though, because they collected two of them right away. So I think NRG, because the bounties were up, decided to take them instead of contesting.
I think it was actually completely correct from that spot because Palafox had no TP anyway. He would have to make this desperation run up towards top. Very likely if Contractz goes in there, he just dies. And then if you die in that situation, you're giving over Infernal Soul as well, right? So I think it's actually the smarter decision here. They go back. They're completing some items. You can see 3 items now for Palafox are done. And we'll see, can they make this fight happen? Because Dig has priority with the Baron. They're going to get pushed, and they're going to be trying to play for this soul to close this one out.
And it's the moment at this game. The gold is only 1,800 different. All flashes are up on the side of Dig and NRG. It's a lot about position, but they're going to throw down in this fight with these summoner spells up.
Critically as well, Jensen now 16 and completes his 3 items, so also very strong on the Corki here.
Here we go, NRG. They're going to spot out Licorice on the bottom side of the map, knowing that he's looking for a flank in through the bottom lane. NRG are going to take their time, slowly gaining control, and they're going to turn right onto Licorice, try to stop the flank before it even happens. Licorice is in trouble, getting absolutely pummeled, and the rest of Dignitas are now trying to burn the dragon before he can react, but Palafox cuts them off with the Weaver's Wall. Contractz is in the pit. Can he the smite! It goes over to Spica. The rest of NRG now have to fight through the bullet time as he gets interrupted by Huhi. Spica now finds himself in the backline. Licorice all out on FBI, brings him in isolation and takes him down. The rest of NRG are forced to run. Dhokla is going to try to hold his own against Spica, but he cannot outrun the deer. Palafox flashing away from the crash down, but NRG are just playing for scraps at this point, and Dignitas, can they try to end the game right here, right now?
That's the question. That went down to 1 HP, and I don't even think Spica used his smite. I think he got it with a tick of damage from the Leandries or the passive, but Dignitas do get the soul, do win the fight, and are marching on the base.
Palafox and Contractz would have to pull off a miracle, but it doesn't seem like Dignitas are confident in ending the game outright. They're going to continue extending their Baron play through the bottom side of the map and take out another turret.
How much of a tilter is that, though, for Contractz? To literal 1 HP. That is insane. I think that might be the first time I've ever seen that in competitive, or actually saw the number 1.
Yeah. So I slow-mode this. He smote at about 1,500 as he was comboing it with his spells. And then it ticked 27 to 1. So I think the 27 to 1 to death was all Lillia dot damage.
He got stunned by the Rell, so he couldn't continue his combo. So the smite went through, but Isles actually CC'd him up there, so the auto attack didn't go through from Contractz to actually combo that down. That is actually insane and has to be incredibly frustrating for Contractz, because not only don't you get the steal, it is so much worse than that. You give over the soul, you lose the fight, and may have lost the game off of that tiny, tiny difference.
I want to echo a phrase from Jatt said earlier in this game. It's all been about slim margins. It has been so close in so many of these fights and these skirmishes. Before then, the gold advantage was never that really significant for either side, but now the Baron achieved, Infernal Soul acquired. I feel like this is now Dignitas' game to close out. 2
of the stompiest opening games you will ever see in a series, followed by this absolute banger. 31 kills in 30 minutes. With the soul point, though, Dig seems to have swung it completely in their favor. What a game.
And MF now on 4 full AD items, has all the BF items collected. This is kind of where you got all the Infinity Stones. If you channel this all,
Arrow on the Isles.
though.
Clean pick.
but there's
Have a
nothing
man
to get.
advantage.
That's the problem. There's nothing on the map.
They're continuing the play on Zven. He still has Flash and he has Cleanse. And he flashes away from the seismic shove. Good patience to wait until the end of the combo first. Licorice is now pushing through the bottom side of the map. And a swirling seed into a lilting lullaby is going to stop NRG from being able to phase. Teleport from Licorice. He wants to commit to the play. Contractz is popped by Jensen, but he still gets traded back by FBI. But now he's isolated as Licorice comes from behind. Zven still survives despite Dhokla bringing him to low HP. And Dignitas, they have 3-2-2. They could push for the end.
I mean, what a mess that whole sequence was, with the original pick onto Isles into Dignitas trying to play a 2v4, but actually winning it in the end because Zven, with his Infinity Stones of BF lifesteal, stays alive against Dhokla, and Cassante Gaming takes FBI down in the back. Let's see what they can do with this push.
Palafox clears the minion wave out, so Dignitas turn their attention to the bottom inhibitor instead. It doesn't look like NRG's game is over just yet. Dignitas, we're going to have to look for another fight next.
Yeah, and if you can't end it now, you always have that little nervous voice in the back of your head saying that, well, if they steal Elder, like Elder can be the great equalizer, but Dhokla, again, doing a great job marking Zven, stopping the ultimate immediately as it started, because what I was talking about is you get all of these AD items. The ulti fully channeled does 5,500 damage now from Zven. Like, it is actually insane how much damage the MF ult can do late game, but it's very difficult to position properly to get it off. If you position too far back, they take one step, they're out of it. Position too far forward, you're going to get interrupted, and Dhokla is just staring at him every single fight, waiting to stop that. So if Zven can get that perfect ult, it can absolutely be game-ending, but by the same token, if he mispositions it gets stopped, he has no summoners, that could be really problems for them too.
I think they're still quite favored. I will say their objective secures have been effective, if not, but not very reliable. Because even in the stomp of game one, Contractz had a total shot at stealing that Baron. This Infernal Soul going over was a 1 HP. And now, though, they at least get Contractz flash out, which makes the steal less likely on Baron.
Makes it really hard if they go to Baron now, because they also have flash on Isles, they have flash on Licorice, so they could go over the wall to actually stop Contractz. So now with no flash on him and him having to go heal back in base, you just start it. Huhi does have a potential long flank here, but the rest of the team is so far behind the play, it's just going to be gone.
I mean, Palafox comes in with the Weaver's Wall, and it gives them vision. Do they want to still play for this? Huhi right on top of Zven, but Palafox cannot find the combo, and now Huhi is just absolutely destroyed. Palafox has the flash and run away for his life. Licorice is solo killing FBI in the back, even with Dhokla trying to peel him off. But the rest of NRG are able to deal with the backline of Dignitas. Zven and Jensen got popped, and now they can turn on to Licorice instead. Spica has to keep the Baron buff because everyone else on Dignitas just got destroyed.
I mean, the fight starts with Huhi finding this angle on the flashless Zven. They are able to kill off Zven with Palafox and Huhi. Then they're able to take down Jensen, and the fight just becomes chaos. It's skirmishes on either side. It's all about who's going to succeed in these small multiple number fights.
I have to apologize for circling Cassante Gaming because the upset was happening on the other side of the fight. Licorice was taking on 2, but then every carry of Dig gets completely wiped out as the Elder will get started now by Contractz.
Jensen has TP. He's up in 11 seconds. Zven is up now. Licorice will be up in 20 seconds, but I don't think Spica is going to chance for a steal over the Elder. He recalled. They're just conceding it.
And now you have this kind of small window during the Elder buff where NRG are supremely powerful. You know, they will run the show. The question is, can they actually push in and be able to threaten these inhibitor towers, be able to threaten the inhibitors? Because while you are incredibly strong in a fight, it doesn't make your minions any tankier. And all Dignitas is going to want to do is delay, clear out the waves, avoid any sort of potential conflict, and just try to buy time for that Elder to fall off.
This is such a close game now.
Yeah.
That Baron play was an absolute shocker.
Yeah, I mean, Huhi just really found a great angle, and credit to him. You know, he bought so much time waiting in the tri-brush, finds the angle. I didn't think they were actually going to be able to finish off Zven because the seismic shove didn't hit from Palafox, but was able to thread enough of those Qs through the members over on the Dignitas side to kill off Zven. And that really did change things. But now Zven has his summoners back, is a lot safer. MF so reliant on those summoners because you have no dash. You know, you just have high move speed. That's what you're really counting on. But move speed does not get you out of a Flash Alistar combo.
Yep. And for Dignitas, even though they've had such a decent advantage after the Baron play that we first saw, persistence has been so key to NRG. As they throw out an arrow, it is tanked by Licorice. No further fight will occur from it. But I can't imagine that NRG are going to let go of the gas anytime soon. The past 10 minutes have just spoken volumes of how much they are willing to throw against the wall.
I mean, NRG either have to just hard force a dive or accept that the Elder is gone now because it's so easy. Even if desperation calls, Zven can just ult a wave. Like, they only have to defend this wave and one more. This wave is mostly already gone. They are going to be able to push up and get the tier 2, but I don't think it has enough legs to even get them to be able to threaten that next tower. You can see Dhokla's pushing up bot wave. They're hoping to make some sort of an angle there. But again, only 30 seconds. Worst case, you ult it.
Yeah, it still keeps him in the game, though. It's yet another bounty secured.
Yep.
They've pulled even in gold. 20 seconds left if Dignitas tried to defend a little bit too strongly. They might go here.
The arrow is a field goal. Weaver's Wall was already used by Palafox to cut off Dignitas members, but all of them ended up on the safe side of the wall. NRG are running out of the Elder Dragon buff, and it doesn't look like they're going to continue the siege.
The gold is dead even, but because of the soul, they still have objective bounties. So they're actually getting so close as far as gold. Of course, the soul is going to give you, it's around 4,000 gold worth of stats ballpark. You know, so it is quite powerful. They are still in a lead in that way, but you know, it's definitely not that clear-cut of a game anymore. And while K'Sante is enormously ahead in top lane, it's a 5.6k gold lead to Palafox in mid lane, which is absolutely absurd.
That's enormous.
Like, that is ridiculous. He has almost 100 CS ahead. He's 90 CS up, has a lot more kills, has taken a lot of tower gold. So he is ridiculously fed. He's on true 6 items, has a potion. Jensen still needs to buy a full item and has a cheaper build. So, you know, it's really going to come down to these super fed members. Who can get more done? Is it going to be about Palafox or is it going to be Licorice getting into that backline?
Palafox has actually earned 20,000 gold this game, so he has 1,200 gold that he can't even spend at the moment because he's collected a lot of bounties. So he is really, of any bright spot for NRG, been the one. And this could be a pick.
Decent pick on the Isles. He's getting blown up, and CC Chain tries to flash away, but it's too late. Now it's 5-on-4 for the side of NRG, but it doesn't look like they can find any further picks.
Spica also used his sleep, and it was just on Huhi. So now not only is your support dead with no flash, Spica lost his engage tool there as well. So Dignitas really has no way to start a fight. The Baron is going to be up here in 45. Isles will be alive, but no flash really does make it a one-way trip. It makes it much harder to reach the back line if he were to go for it. You also have to look at the map, and we're seeing, you know, very little deep vision from them. You know, really they have this one ward over on this side. They've got nothing, you know, past the Baron. So if it is NRG starting up a Baron, there's nowhere for Licorice to TP.
Maybe a pick on the Licorice. Cease and desist into the seismic shove combo. Tries to knock him down. Teleport is coming in for NRG. They want to guarantee this. The bullet time is ripping apart NRG, and that will save Licorice's life as it pushes NRG's front line back into the shadows.
I mean, that shows how fed he is, but that also shows how disconnected Dignitas continue to be. That was almost another pick for NRG when there are currently no objectives that are available when that happened. Now the Baron is up. They've chunked a few of NRG down, and they're going to start setting up this Baron.
Yeah, there's the TP in from Palafox, so everyone from here is going to be playing about the engage, and it's all about the execution in this situation.
It's going to be a flip.
Licorice is getting zoned off, 6,000 HP on the Baron. They have full vision. You can't imagine that they will continue it. Now it's 3,000 HP, and Contractz is in the Baron pit. Who is going to get the Baron? They stopped damage on it. They're trying to turn around for the fight. Dhokla is getting zoned out. 2,000 HP. Contractz is flashed. Oh, he tried to flash back in and steal it, but it's secured by Zven, and now Contractz is solo by himself in the rest of the Dignitas Baron pit. But Isles is traded back. The rest of NRG now have to reposition around their new front line. Dhokla and Huhi have to hold the line and guarantee that Palafox and FBI can't escape. Huhi is going to give his life for the cause, and Palafox might look for a pick, but Licorice is too tanky. Dignitas still have 4 members strong, and they're going to march into the base.
Contractz got back into the pit, and again, Spica doesn't even smite, but they got it anyway.
Q flash into the sleep. Dhokla is going to take a nap, and he might just get blown up by the onslaught of Jensen. The rockets pour in, and he burns to the passive. Dignitas are looking for the win.
All their carries alive. Palafox and FBI, one last stand.
Palafox, no flash available. It's the shutdown from Jensen in the bloodiest game of the series, but it ends with Dignitas' triumph, and they move to match point.
Wow, that looked for a while like it was going to be Dignitas' game. Then NRG started getting bounty after bounty after bounty, fight after fight after fight. And were it not for 2 incredibly close smites, this could have been an NRG win. A 1 HP survival on that dragon where the Lillia burn takes it. Spica didn't even use smite on that one that secured soul. Also didn't even use smite on the Baron, as its Contractz queuing out of the pit, flashing back in, smiting. It gets really, really low, but then Zven of all people does take it with a hit, and jeez, what a close series.
And if you're Spica, you win that game and you run far away from
Jungle dip.
You just run away and say, we win, one more game to move on.
What a hell of a banger. But with that, we're going to head on over to the LCS Lounge to break Game 3 down.
Well, well, well. We got a juicy Baron fight that we need to go into. That Baron fight that just happened, that's one of those fights where we want replays for, but they didn't have time because the game ended so quickly after. So let's take another look at it live here. Contractz on the backside of the pit is going to be looking to use Blast Cone to go in. And so the rest of NRG's job right now is trying to put the pressure on so that it can actually do something about the steal. But the key part here is that Dignitas do such a good job of stopping damage on the Baron when they see Contractz pop in. As soon as he pops in, pause here, look at that. Dhokla was unable to get his Poppy ultimate, so he didn't get anybody out of the pit here. And Contractz was able to get over the top, but they stop all the damage at 3K. He's unsure what to do. No more damage onto the Baron. And the rest of NRG here, they're just kind of waiting, actually getting zoned by Licorice and Isles. So let's take a look.
They can't walk up.
Look at this. Licorice over here is zoning everyone. They can't get in. Contractz, now he's without a team, and so he's forced to just queue outside of the Baron. Then they're able to get it, secure it, even though he flashes back inside. Whew.
That was a really tough one. Do you want to see the 16-minute fight from Dignitas winning too?
Let's go, let's go.
Let's do it, let's do it straight up. I'm gonna speed this one up because this is just the setup for it.
Okay, let's see. All right, here we go, here we go. We got the double teleports coming in. So this was the one at 17 minutes where both people that were top teleport in onto the different world.
Whoa!
Guess where Raz's gonna move it.
Whoa! Double controls. Okay, so this was the big one where we had the engage Contractz here so they can try and get the combo from Palafox onto the Lillia and knock him across the rocks, but they don't get the rock damage because Huhi's Alistar goes in and combos at the exact same time. And the way that knocks work, if you're already in movement, the most recent knockback is going to take priority. And so Huhi's Alistar combo, the knock upwards, takes priority on the Lillia, and you can see him, he just goes up in the air, doesn't bounce over the rocks as we play the rest of it, and he's not going to take enough damage to die because he doesn't get that extra rock damage. Meanwhile, all of the damage here, the counter damage from Jensen as well as Zven is going to get the return pressure that Dignitas need to win that fight. And then I believe, Emily, you have another one that you want to bring up as well.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there was a play at
30-minute I have here.
It was basically after the catch on to Isles. Okay, so this is just a small thing and something that it felt like has been a hallmark of NRG, right? So this ward goes down, Isles is here, he is going to end up dying. They get a really good pick onto him, right? And so it's like, okay, we're good. We get a positive play. Game is still really close. And then as we come down, they're like immediately, okay, we have an angle onto Zven, which is fine, except for the fact that he actually ends up escaping. And this is a really small thing, but I've noticed a lot of this out of NRG where they feel like when they get one positive play, they then have to go super ham onto another play instead of kind of backing, resetting, seeing what else they'd be able to get. Now I know like they saw the angle on this, it looks really good, but then Jensen is able to come in, Zven gets out, and now they have all of this stuff down when it could have been, like in a lot of these situations, I guess I'd like to see them play less ham, yeah.
More discipline in those plays.
My brain lost the word I was going for.
And here's the thing, game 1, stomp.
Yep.
In the direction of like Dignitas. Game 2, another stomp for NRG. Game 3, a lot more competitive. Now we're looking at the wider series as we move back. Take a seat. My legs are getting a little tired.
From standing?
What do we want to see from either teams here as we're moving into what is already now an interesting series, Dignitas taking the lead 2-1?
So my takeaway from that one from the NRG side, even though they do lose, they were able to utilize some of the picks and some of the strategies that they did when they were at their peak. The Vi Taliyah was something that was so core to this team.
Yeah.
And for the majority of that game, Palafox, he had almost a 6,000 gold lead over Jensen individually.
Yeah.
It was just the rest of NRG that were so far behind. And so it was really Contractz and Palafox doing a lot of work, getting all these picks and doing so much work for the team. But because of the lane swap at the beginning, Dignitas were able to get such nice leads on Licorice and on their bottom lane that the rest of the squad was able to take it.
And that's my big thing from the Dig side, right? Is talking to Mabury, he's like, we wanted to get our lane swap down. We wanted to be better in terms of who was responding to what. Obviously, he kept it KG because he doesn't want to give too much away. But in these games, Dignitas have looked a lot more comfortable in the swap, even with the way that like Dhokla, for example, has been able to harass and get the good lane for Palafox, has actually later contributed to the topside play and all that stuff snowballs. Licorice, especially on the Cassante, is getting massive leads. And in this game in particular, he was the raid boss that they could not kill.
Really showing up in those team fights. And just like, if NRG had won this game, we would have done a very similar highlight on just Palafox's plays really early on in the games.
Yep.
Being able to find picks topside. So it's back and forth. We're hoping it's going to be a banger of a series. We're going to be heading straight to game 4 right after this break.
Maybe the jungle just caught all his camps too.
You wanna go? Or?
Wait. Yeah, you can look. Wait. Let me get close. Let me go melee. Yeah, you can look.
I'm looking Rell. Nice.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
ready.
I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Look, Rell.
If you get the...
Yeah.
No flash Rell.
Nice.
Lillia. Yeah, looking Lillia first.
I can't go, really.
That's okay.
Front.
You can play slow.
Think about going blood, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at MF if she stays. I wanna stay
I'll
top.
go, I'll go.
Nice job, guys.
I think we're playing the next top wave.
Copy.
I want to take this forward.
Yeah, the next top wave I'll be there.
Go
Okay.
down, okay?
Yeah.
Bot.
How's it if he? I can look.
I want to play
Flash
on
bot,
the bot.
Flash. Yeah, flash. Oh, nice
Flash
shot.
right.
Right here. Look at me. I'm fine. I can flash out. I can flash out maybe.
I have flash too.
Go Vi. Vi no flash. Vi has nothing.
Are we going to cow or no?
Cow has no flash. Cow has nothing.
Slow start.
Yep.
Cow.
Just go Alistar and leave after.
It's hard damage here, but trying.
Just kill Alistar and leave.
Is that
nice?
They're TPing?
Yeah.
We're TPing? Okay.
I have an angle from the left.
Look me.
They're looking on you guys fast.
I can zone Ashe. I'm fine.
Vine dead.
One to die.
Hitting the cow.
Yeah.
I'm alive. I have combo nothing, guys.
Oh fuck. Looking at Rell. Rell, no flash. Cut out.
Yeah, try it out. Oh, I didn't mean to click an R. Yeah.
It's okay.
We don't need to use everything on Lillia, okay? If Vi is already ulting, I will just combo off of it.
Yeah.
Come back a bit. I can't enter right now. Look at Vi. Vi's walking up too far.
Watch out, MF after.
Yeah.
Watch out, MF.
Yeah.
Watch out, MF.
Rell no flash.
Lillia no flash.
Okay, that's that. You guys got it? Okay, careful. Let's kite a little.
I have combo in.
Keep going. His combo's up now. I'll just sleep him. No cleanse.
Taliyah,
Hit front. It's fine.
Eric is doing well.